Hey everybody, it's Galmadex. Welcome back to another Lorwyn Eclipsed Collector Booster Box Arena Direct Sealed event. You know the drill by now. We're playing best of one sealed, busting open 6 packs of Lorwyn Eclipsed, hoping for some good rares, hoping for a great sealed pool, hoping to get 7 wins before 2 losses, because if we get there, we get some physical magic cards, a Lorwyn Eclipsed Collector Booster Box. High risk, high variance event. We are far from guaranteed to get there, even if we play perfectly. The best players in the world have scrubbed out of this event after paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars. We're just going to do 1 week of runs. I'm not doing hundreds of dollars of this. With that whole spiel out of the way, let's get back into it. Looks like a really good start towards potentially maybe a black-green elf deck here. We have Dawnhand, Dissidence, and Gloom Ripper for 2 really strong black elf rares. Then we have the Bloom Tender for a great green rare that also happens to be an elf, and the Sapling Nursery for a super good landfall rare. This doesn't have any direct like typal synergy with the rest of the stuff, but it just is a very good card in general. Also, we could go green, black, white, where we also get the Water Shaper and Doran off of the splash. Doran working with multiple of our other cards. Doran's going to buff the Adept Water Shaper. It's going to buff the Treefolk tokens. It's going to buff the Painter's Servant. It's going to buff the Dawnhand Dissident. And I think I will play the Painter's Servant as a 2-mana 1/3, because it's a 2-mana 1/3 that might add extra Bloom Tender mana at worst. And if we have any other Vivid cards, it'll help those too. Looks like a really cool black, white, green sealed pool here. I will not play Mornsong Arya. This card is, but when you cast it, your opponent is the first person that gets to tutor for something. So it's one of those cards where each of you gets the same benefit, but your opponent gets the benefit first, and they didn't even spend a card to start getting those benefits like you did. So highly recommend not playing that. Let's see what we got. Can we do a black, white, green deck? Do we have the mana base for it? We've got a Changeling Wayfinder. If we've got enough elves, we've got a Gathering Stone. We've got an Evolving Wilds as well. Eclipsed Realms could help with a splash if we specifically name the splash color, I guess, but then it's not tapping for colored mana for our main types. Yeah, I don't know how well Eclipsed Realms is really going to work. And here again, it really depends how deep we are into specifically elves. But we've got Evolving Wilds, Wayfinder as the fixing. Painter's Servant doesn't actually fix your mana at all. It doesn't really care. Just makes your cards all technically a specific color. Grove Guide and Stompling here. We got 2 Eclipsed Boggart, but it's highly unlikely we end up in Goblins with where our rares are. We've got a Prideful Feastling for another elf. Okay, Great Forest Druid fixes our mana, as well as Shimmer Wild's Growth fixing our mana. Yeah, we can go green, black, splash in the white. And now that we are getting a few runs deep into these arena directs, I'm going to be less like look at every single color and talk about absolutely everything. I think it's more than clear to me that we're going to end up in the green-black direction with a white splash. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a peek at the blue and make sure. Blue's reasonable. And white's reasonable, but we can splash into those and have a better time. Okay, this is 46 cards right now. Splashing in a Doran and a Water Shaper, maybe a Spiral, and Pyrrhic Strike for removal. Lamentor's not a horrible splash, but certainly much worse to be going for like a 5th white card. Would be getting very deep into the color, and then we're just a full-on 3-color deck, and I don't know that our mana base is quite good enough to justify that. This might be an okay Puka's Eye deck. We might be able to get all 5 colors on the board. I don't think it's impossible. Alright, we get to cut 10 cards. So if I Puka's Eye on blue, I've also got a like, how many red cards do I have? I've got 1 Stompling. Okay, maybe not. Maybe Puka's Eye is never going to hit all 5 colors. That's like 3 red cards, 1 Gangly Stompling, 1 Painter's Servant, and 1... Wait, what else did I have? Shimmer Wild's Growth. So Painter's Servant, Gangly Stompling, and Shimmer Wild's Growth, I can make them red permanents, and then I make the Puka's Eye the blue permanent. The only time I ever need the blue permanent is when I play the Puka's Eye. It's probably going to end up getting cut, but it would be possible to activate on rare occasion. Okay, so we cut no 1 or 2 mana creatures, that's for sure. How many creatures total? 20? So we only cut a few creatures. I like all the 5s. I'm going to be a little higher on the mana curve, but that's okay when we have Wayfinder, Growth, Bloom Tender, and Druid. We can be a little higher up on the curve here. I wouldn't be surprised if we just cut 2 3-mana cards. It looks fine to me. There's this Splash, there's Wretched Wretch, and there's Crossroads Watchers. These are potential cuts. I mean, I believe I'm keeping the Splash in. It's just a very strong ability. And all other tapped creatures indestructible. So that leaves just these 3 get cut, and that's it. 17 creatures. Looks fine by me. Wretched Wretch has some cute synergy with the Pyrrhic Strike. If it dies with a -1/-1 counter, it'll come back on it 1 time. So we blight 2 onto it, bring it right back. But it's just that and Bog Slither's Embrace and Spiral into Solitude. Yeah, Wretched Wretch's not horrible in here. It's cute with Dissidence. But it's never great. It always only comes back 1 time. Because when it comes back, it loses all its abilities, which means it won't be able to come back again after that. Yeah, I'm just going to drop those 3. Those seem like the most reasonable, simplest cuts to make. Then we cut 7 non-creature cards. First and foremost, we need to see if Gathering Stone is actually going to work in this deck. We have 6 elves. So our most prevalent creature type is elf, where we have 6 elves and 4 shapeshifters. So we have 10 hits. 1 out of every 4 cards would be something to draw off of stone, and when you're not drawing it, you're still surveilling. That's okay. It's not quite great yet. I'm not going to cut it immediately, but I will put it on the chopping block. Unforgiving Aim, Guilt Leap's Embrace are cards I'm generally not that impressed by. It's going to be hard to have room for them when we have really good cards like Pyrrhic Strike, Sapling Nursery, some Assert Perfections, Bog Slither's Embrace, Shimmer Wild's Growth. Yeah, I have to cut 7 non-lands right now. So that would just be like all of these. Choosing the best ones as Double Assert, Embrace, and Pyrrhic Strike for the best removal spells. Shimmer Wild's Growth, because this deck really wants Ramp plus Fixing, that is both, and then Sapling Nursery as a bomb. Because Sapling Nursery is another card that kind of creates creatures, it's a little bit more like a creature than a spell, or a little bit more like creatures than spells. So we could cut 1 more creature to put another one of these non-land cards back in, such as another removal spell with Spiral into Solitude or Gathering Stone for potential card draw engine. I feel like our deck has enough power in the late game to not need the Gathering Stone. Maybe we just cut the Filleriest top end card for Spiral or Stone. Puka's Eye is going to get there so rarely. The only Vivid card we really have is Bloom Tender. So when we're not getting there, it's not really adding value by adding to our Vivid. See, of the card draw cards, I think I'd rather play Gathering Stone, even though if there's only like 9 elves in here. But would I rather play that than Spiral into Solitude? I kind of feel like I just want to play Spiral and have more interaction, because we have Blackthorn potentially drawing us cards turn over turn. We have Council drawing us 1 card when we play it. Graveshifter is a 2-for-1, bring back a card from grave. Dissident can bring back cards from grave as a 2-for-1. I'm not like super desperate for card draw. And only 9 creatures that share a type is not great. But Sealed can be slow enough that even just surveilling every turn is going to be really nice. Although 4 mana Surveil every turn is a very bad card. It's still just a little bit less than 1 out of 4 of drawing every time we use it. I mean, Spiral's another splashed in removal spell too, so it's going to be hard to cast. I'll go for the Gathering Stone. We'll try it out here. We'll find out if 9 or 10 is enough of the type to make Gathering Stone worth it. Let's check our mana. 11 green cards, 8 black, 4 white. We have multiple green cards that can get a mana of any color, the Shimmer Wilds and the Great Forest Druid. So green is the most important color and the most prominent color, so we'll go 7 forests, 2 plains here, I believe. I don't think we want Eclipsed Realms when our most prevalent creature type is just at 9. It's just going to make our mana a little worse on average, because being colorless for non-creature cards, and half our creatures in the deck. So we cut that for another forest again, I think. Technically, purely based on the counts, we might want to be a bit closer, beyond like a 7/7 or something like that, but we also have Sapling Nursery with the affinity for forests specifically. That does want the forest count really high, plus the green cards give us cards that can give us the other colors of mana. So I think it's 8/6/2. It might not even be 2 plains, honestly. 1 Doran, 1 Water Shaper, 1 Pyrrhic Strike. That's 3 white cards. With Evolving Wilds and Plains in the deck, we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white sources. There's 5 white sources with a single Plains. That helps our main colors get hit more consistently more often. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go down to 1 Plains. 9 forests. Call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay. See how far the Doran deck can take us this time around. All right, here we are on the play for game 1. We have Prideful Feastling into a Sapling Nursery. Eventually. We do have a double forest hand, so it'll be 6 mana at most, no matter what lands we draw. We do have our splash card in the opener, our Water Shaper, which is a little awkward. But we're drawing a bunch of forests. That's going to help that Sapling Nursery. Now it's going to cost 5 mana maximum. I'd rather run out the Nursery turn 4. I think I'd rather run out the Nursery turn 4 than play a Feastling this turn. Just play 4 forests in a row. Hello, Crossroads Watcher. We are against a green deck, so out of all the colors, they're gonna be the color that can actually maybe blow it up. But if they don't have enchantment-based removal, this game's essentially already over. It's gonna be very difficult to beat a Sapling Nursery without a way to blow it up. Worst case scenario here is that they have that 1 elf instant and they just shoot the Nursery immediately, which is still a 1-for-1. So it's not like the game's over if that happens. It just wouldn't be fun for us. Dawnhand Eulogist starts them off. Well, starts them off. Crossroads Watcher started them off. Dawnhand Eulogist continues for them. Get a 3/4, get a lifelinker. I could shoot one of those, but I think I'll be able to block them perfectly fine with enough Treefolk, so I'm going to save Assert Perfection for something that my Treefolk will not be dealing with. Something very cool here is that if they don't kill Bloom Tender is actually the Adept Water Shaper mana for us now. It's giving us the white source off of our hybrid Changeling. There's Gangly Stompling for our opponent. They send in the Crossroads Watcher. The only 1 mana trick I can think of in this set is +2/+2, which a double block will beat. And if they don't have the trick, this is a way for us to gain life while we trade our Treefolk off. So it's better than single blocking even if they don't have a trick. Unless they choose to kill the lifelinker, which is possible, but it's the smaller body here, so I doubt it. If they like next level us and decide to kill the lifelinker because it shuts off the white mana, then that would actually play worse, but I think they don't really have any reason to assume I actually have a white spell. But joke's on them, I do. Now I've got double removal, so I don't think it's crazy to kill one of these cards. Especially when I get to attack in with Feastling this turn. I'll plop the Menacer. So I can just single Treefolk block the other one without putting Water Shaper at risk. Alright, Evolving Wilds for a mountain. They've got 5 cards in their hand. We just have 1 removal spell and our onboard Sapling Nursery that we're working with. Some other creatures too, but technically out of gas, but every single draw on the deck is more gas. It's a 3/4 at worst. Ew. A better rare. Tristan's command, return 2 creatures from grave to hand and destroy our Sapling Nursery. It's picking up Grub and Dawnhand Eulogist. Alright, well, we just went from winning to losing a little. No reason to get indestructible this turn. So I'll just let it go to the grave instead of exile, although I don't think we have anything in our deck that can bring it back from the grave regardless. Well, that was very bad. There's the land for us too. I hit for 3 more damage if I spend this removal, otherwise I just hit for 5. I guess I hit for 4 more damage. Turn a goblin from grave to hand. Flip and blight and make duplicates of your blighted creatures. They have no goblins in grave. I mean, there's nothing they have right now I'm going to have to throw removal at. Maybe we do just embrace here to push 4 extra points of damage. Put them to 8. I don't think I'm going to, though. I'm still scared of what they can draw into. I mean, it's play booster sealed. They're going to have plenty more where those rares came from. I mean, look at our own board. We have a mythic, and we had 2 rares until they killed Sapling Nursery. Not that our mythic is that explosive. It's just a mana dork. Vine-bred Brawler. And that's going to try to force a bad block. We might have to embrace the Vine-bred Brawler. I was just going to removal spell Water Shaper anyway. Sure. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. How much power does Grub have? 2. Good. Eulogist could block it, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I do have the mana for both of these because it's triple mana. Jesus, Bloom Tender. I lied, Bloom Tender is actually still awesome. Put them to 9, playing off the top here. They've got 4 cards in hand. But we got power on this board. We got a 3/4 and a 3/5 that's very hard to block. And the 3/5 that's hard to block is a 5/5 any turn that we draw a creature. Six, 6. Well, that's awful. Obviously removing the 4-2 looks pretty bad now. But that would have traded off into our 3-4 otherwise. We'd be down to just the Bristlebane Outrider. It would just be Outrider versus Eulogist when the dust settles if we held the removal to use on Prisma Basher. So either way, we have to draw into something. But we'd be in a slightly better position had we waited on removal. Another Gangler. And another land for us. There's Grub. Which they did mill a Changeling now. I guess the Stompling counted too. Changeling Wayfinder, so we'll have the white source. We can cast anything that we draw into. Only 7 lands and an Evolving Wild, so 8 lands left in the whole deck. Got a few pretty good draws. A massive amount. I think Grub's just going to pop off now. Grub makes a duplicate of something every turn that they blight. Grub making duplicates at Prisma Basher is actually just going to kill me really quick. But it triggers whenever Grub attacks, so we can kill Grub when they go for it at least. Still be a really gross attack. Oh. Spry and Mighty. Okay, they've definitely got us now then. Spry and Mighty is one of those cards that's like, it either does literally nothing, which is really bad, or just kind of wins the game on the spot. And unfortunately, this is a board where it just wins the game on the spot. +8/+8 trample to the board and draw 4 cards. That is a 5-for-1. Yeah, I don't think... Obviously that the Bogslither's Embrace play worked out very well for us at all, but I think even if we played knowing exactly what they were going to draw at all points of this game, we would have lost, because we wouldn't have killed them or had enough pressure to break through even if I held Embrace for the Prisma Basher. And then they'd still play this stuff into a Spry and Mighty and get us, not like on the spot, but with the 4-for-1. It'd be like a 3-for-1 instead. Okay. Yeah, I'm good there. There's no draws that'll win from there. Rough game to start it out. I don't think there was any combination of lines that will win that one. 0-1 heading into game 2. The most important part of the game, the thing that really killed us, was Tristan's command. I mean, blow up our bomb rare, pick up 2 cards, massive 3-for-1 there. That's what completely changed the course of the game. The Spry and Mighty, they were already a bit ahead by the time that showed up. It's really Tristan's command that killed us there. Here we are on the draw for game 2 against turn 1 Moonshadow. That's not good. Let's get the Evolving Wilds out of the way on white for Pyrrhic Strike, so even if Great Forest Druid dies, we've got access to the splash and the removal. And here's the druid. Starting us off. Keep taking our menace damage. Ooh, sack Moonshadow to kill Great Forest Druid is just a fantastic deal for us. I'm gonna lead with forests first in case we draw our Treefolk landfall card. That was an exceptional 2-for-1 in our favor. 1-for-1 trade here is fine. They must have some kind of crazy graveyard recursion or something if they're trading their cards off so aggressively. They must have some like return 2 cards from grave to hand at minimum. It could be the return 2 elementals from grave to hand. The dig up. Even then, I think we kind of won those exchanges because those cards could have done a lot worse. Yeah, I'm feeling very good about how this game has gone so far. Even with that unbury. Moonshadow's back. Another swamp for us. That's double green and 3. Nursery would already cost double green and 3 now, so it's already castable off of just these lands. So I will get the black mana out at this point. I don't really think I need to spend removal on Moonshadow right now. Okay. Chronicle Victory is scary. It draws them a card whenever they play an elemental as well. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to Pyrrhic Strike it before they play the Squawk Roaster. I was thinking about waiting because I could Blight and then kill both the cards, but just stopping them from drawing the card is also the same in the card economy. Kill the Double Striker, kill the Menacer. I think I need to kill the Double Striker. It really depends how many other permanents that they draw to put into the grave with the Moonshadow. A different Double Striker, a bigger Double Striker. Well, now I have to kill that. We say no. Free kill from Safe Right Cavalry, and there's the concession from our opponent. That is 1-1 heading into game 3. This hand doesn't do a ton, but it's obviously still a keep. It's going to have perfect mana for anything it draws into, and a Gloom Ripper for -2 toughness on whatever. It's got a removal spell. Yeah, I mean, it's a keep. Just don't know what I'm really doing with Painter's Servant. I guess I just picked blue because that's the only color we have no permanence of, just in case we hit the Bloom Tender for more Bloom Tender mana. Just our 1/3 on curve. I actually probably just shouldn't even play the Painter's Servant, although we didn't have any other 2-mana cards that we were running it over. Yeah, we only have 4 2-mana cards. It's one of 4 of them. For curve purposes, that's not crazy to me. To run it on the off chance of some Bloom Tender value. Red. So I'm technically supposed to pick blue. but I'm angry. Red mode. The only way picking red over blue will be relevant is if we draw our Bloom Tender and our one hybrid red card. Wary Farmer. Get a 3/3 out. Man, we really have to pay attention to our colors now. Okay, white, green. Let's get a black source down. No, I'd probably still play the forest first in case we draw that thing that wants a lot of forest, and then we grab the second black for Gloom Ripper. Swamp. And now we start playing the black sources. Probably playing Gathering Stone next turn. What creature types do we have left in the deck? Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elves left in the deck. That's probably more than every other type. So Gathering Stone on elves, especially if we draw another non-elf creature. Then for 5 mana next turn, go Feastling and Druid. Yes, this turn is going to be Gathering Stone on elves. If they want to spend a trick to kill a 1/2 or a 1/3, they are welcome to. They could have the 4/2 flash, that would be somewhat free. Armor Flash Kithkin. If your Kithkin get +1/+1 when this leaves the battlefield, return it. It's the Kithkin Lord. Yikes. They played it at the wrong time. They didn't kill one of our creatures, at least. Well, I could exile and kill him, and then just get the Foul Knight back. But I think that's still the play. Light onto the Wayfinder so the Great Forest Druid can block the Wary Farmer any turn that they don't buff it. Which is not going to be this turn, because they are going to play the Foul Knight here. But in the future, it's not like we could ever remove the counter from the Druid. So having a 4 toughness creature against these 2 different 3 power creatures is definitely relevant. Okay, we need to run out Feastling before we Gloom Ripper, so that Gloom Ripper, ooh, is big enough to kill stuff. Doran's kind of nuts on this board. Doran's a 5/10 if they can't kill Doran. Plus Doran reduces the cost of Feastling, so I can play Feastling too. Oh, let's go. Means no Great Forest Druid attack, sadly. Painter's Servant is a 3/5, so that doesn't actually attack here either. Might actually cut this Painter's Servant, because again, it's only really going to be relevant if we draw Bloom Tender, which isn't going to happen very often, but then also the visual of it is super annoying. Alright, well, show me what you got to kill a 5/10. Painter's Servant does make it, like, mildly obnoxious to try to track the board state in terms of mana, especially with full arts like here. Figure out what's what color between these 3 different lands. Their lands, it's a little clearer. Green with those forests, because they're just very green lands. Okay, so that was just like a punt attack. Alright, sick. Maybe they thought Dorn was an attack-only trigger or something. Gather me some elves. That's good luck. Bloom Tender immediately. And then another elf. Jesus. We've got lethal next turn off of the Gloom Ripper enter the battlefield effect. There's Virulent Emissary, which we can kill with Gloom Ripper. They're going to draw a card off the Thought Weft Charge, doing some digging, finding a safe right Cavalry. But with Assert Perfection, we still have lethal. We play Gloom Ripper. Buff the heck out of that, shoot the heck out of that. Assert. It might already be lethal, but we'll assert as well, just to make really sure. It was not already lethal. We did need the assert as well. And that is 2 and 1 now. I'm going to take a quick break to edit the deck a little bit before we get into the next round. I don't think Mana Curve is important enough to run a 2-mana 1/3 with no relevant abilities. I'm going to cut Painter's Servant here. Also, I'm not going to lie, part of it is that the visual is a little annoying to me. Yeah, I mean, it's really low on cheap stuff, but still, 2-mana 1/3 that doesn't really actually do anything, because we have one Vivid card in the whole deck. That's a cut. I'll drop that for another 3-drop, have a little bit of a worse curve, but a little bit better cards overall. Or I could even play Puka's Eye, which like cycles and helps the Bloom Tender, if I really want Bloom Tender nonsense that badly. Puka's Eye's at the same mana value as well, so I'm not impacting the board that turn. I am cycling. Like an Auntie's Sentence. Just because this tends to play a little better in sealed, it's good in your opener. Be fine. 15 creatures. I got a 3-mana Goblin. I got 3-mana Kithkins. I do like the Trampler. I've got that 5-mana Elf I could put back in here. Yeah, sure, we'll put another Elf in since we're doing Gathering Stone stuff, and it actually did get really lucky there that game. Just add to the Elf count and have a weird ramp way up to high mana costs. All right, call our deck there. Head back in for round number 4. Solid opening hand here on the draw. Great Forest Druid getting us started. And plenty of stuff to do if we draw any lands, regardless of what color those lands are. Playing against green-black elves, they are on the play with 1-drop, 2-drop elf. Not only 1-drop, 2-drop elf, but one of the best 1-drop elves and one of the best 2-drop elves. Kind of a dream curve so far for our opponent. There's an Informant. Man, they are jamming. And we miss our land draw. 3 draw steps, 3 non-lands. Drop a lifelinker or a water shaper. Let's go for the water shaper and see if they don't have removal in the opener. This is also the only card that requires Great Forest Druid to be on the board to be cast. So by playing it first, we also make sure if something happens to Great Forest Druid, we don't have anything stuck in our hand. Although if we don't draw lands, we're going to have stuff stuck in our hand, period. They did not have removal for the Water Shaper. They do have a Champions of the Perfect, which I can't kill. So now they draw a card every time they play anything. And they have a 6/6. Great. So we play a Gangler and pass. Something like moderately threatening to keep the champions from attacking into us. The awkward thing here is I can't even like attack with Water Shaper and spend Assert because Assert's a sorcery. So if I do that, they just kill the Water Shaper, then I don't have anything to shoot the champions with. So I can't even like 2-for-1 myself to kill the champions. It's such a horrific spot if champion stays that I think I have to get blown out if they have interaction here. Fingers monumentally crossed. We do kill the champions. Gives them back an informant. They go Evolving Wilds for black and play the Informant down to 2 cards in their hand. We're still at 16 against just 2 cards over there. And there's a land for us. I feel it's probably pretty important to be casting the most expensive stuff we can every turn. So we lead with Cavalry at 4 mana or Graveshifter. I'd rather play Cavalry since it completely holds off the attacks if they don't have removal. I mean, outside of the Death Toucher, but it's just going to be good again forever regardless. There's their red mana for Kolrath Zealots. For a 6/5 draw card, very good top end. We need to assert Perfection the Zealot and play the lifelinking Feastling. Yeah. Looks good to me. 15 life. I kind of feel like I can attack. They have 1 card in hand and a land in exile. I think I can attack here. Get the 2-for-1 if they want to trade. If they don't, we're actually going to start racing now that we have a lifelinker. Top deck is Prisma Basher, which kind of ruins the race. That's awful. Surveil to the top, so more gas. Here's a 3/7 to block the 6/6. Or we can play Graveshifter and a 2-mana spell, picking up a creature. There's no 2-mana creatures anyway. Dawnhand Dissident actually is a better blocker than Great Forest Druid because it can trade with the Death Toucher at worst. Let's see what they surveilled to the top. Really hope it's just like a 4-mana 4/4 or something. Just any kind of creature that is just a stat line but doesn't have abilities. Because if it's removal or like an enter the battlefield effect, this is going to be awful. Great. It's a bomb rare. Blow up a creature, buff your whole board. Well, we got one out. That's not true. We got more than one out. Anything that can kill Prisma Basher, which is Pyrrhic Strike or Bog Slither's Embrace. We have 2 outs. Okay. That's not those. But having a lifelink blocker and playing 2 blockers this turn does mean I'm not quite dead. I guess I can block with Cavalry and activate it. Hold the phone. We actually already have the out on board. Let me double check. Safe right Cavalry's ability without highlighting it on Arena. Okay, they're highlighting it anyway. Yeah, it's 5 mana. Instant speed. Yeah, we play Scarblade Scout then, and then pass. You're gonna be kidding me, dude. I'm gonna lose my mind. The exact top card of our library, Bog Slither's Embrace. Well, here we are. We've cleared the board. And they're playing off the top. It's got to be Dawnhand Dissident, right? I don't have to shoot myself for that. It's just putting counters on my stuff. Yeah. I guess my stat lines actually don't line up well for it, because I can't put 2 /1/1 counters on one of these right now. To exile something from Grave. There's Archer, but I've got Grave Shifter for that. They draw a Scrounger off the top for a 3/2. Yeah, thanks for stopping when I told you to stop, Arena. I get no upkeep Scry because Arena is Arena, I guess. Alright, moving on. I mean, that's obviously frustrating. But what's the best play then? Pass, Chump with Druid, Surveil 1 on the Druid. I guess I should have just gotten a 4/4 because my stats don't line up for Dissidents. Yeah, I have to Blight 2 somewhere, which I can't do. I'm gonna save these. We've got the Treefolk rare in this deck that we can draw into. I could Surveil onto the Dissident itself. Then if I draw any other creature, I play it, put 2 counters on it, exile a card from Grave, recast. I could go to 1 here to try to reanimate something, but I think it's better to just Surveil and block this damage. Pyrrhic Strike, that can't kill Scrounger. So I just jump if I draw that. That's so awkward. Oh, and I don't have the white mana anyway. And they draw 4/3 off the top. And it draws another creature off the top. Sick stuff from Magic Arena. If I Surveil, do I have any draws that survive this board state? No, but Elm literally just kills Dissidents anyway if I leave it untapped. Cool. Well, if anything's gonna do it, it'd be double spelling. That is not double spelling. That's dead on board. You got me. That was a frustrating one. Just got bombed hard by that Grubs command. Champions of the Perfect Grubs command. We still were like one creature. Like if I had one more toughness on my board so I could actually start using Dissident, we would have won there. So I guess I just needed to Graveshifter the Cavalry. That would have bought us a bit more time, or bought us a bit more time. We are hitting a rough patch here in the middle of these Arena Directs, but it is what it is. That's best of one sealed for you. 2 and 2 will be the record for this run. I thought this deck was very cool, very fun. I think it is better without the Painter's Servant, but just playing against slightly stronger stuff, slightly better draws. That's how it goes for you. We got tons of removal. We got a decent mana base with enough fixing for it. A little bit of bomb power. It's kind of everything you need for a deck. I think these are the best colors we could have played. Just doesn't get there for us. 2 and 2 in today's run. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm, send some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.